Chaos. That's a watchword, unfortunately, for the way this administration acts. He has one policy for his tariffs one day, a different policy the next day. One day he's pretending to play a tough guy with China. The next, he's caving to China and getting little, if anything, in return. Who knows what Trump's tariff policy will be in the next 90 days? No business can count on what he might say or do. And any promise that he'll stick to his word, stick to his policies, well, the past is prologue. That never happens.
U.S. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer slammed President Donald Trump over his flip-flops with China tariffs. Criticizing Trump, Schumer said the U.S. president gave up too much and got too little in return. Over the weekend, U.S. and China have agreed to pause higher tariffs for 90 days. U.S. tariffs on Chinese goods will drop from 145% to 30%. Chinese tariffs on American goods will fall from 125% to 10%. Schumer said he supports tough action on China, especially when it comes to unfair trade. And he believes tariffs can be useful, but only when part of a clear plan. In this case, the minority leader said Trump's actions created chaos. Schumer said Trump keeps changing course.
Donald Trump promised that in dealing with China, he would not back off without getting concessions in return. And then yesterday, Donald Trump did, in fact, cave to China without getting much in the way of any concessions. Sadly, it seems like China has once again gotten the better of Donald Trump. And that's bad news for American workers, American consumers, American manufacturing. I've long been clear that going after China is a good thing. Going after the Chinese government when they're unfair on trade is a good thing. I've been clear that tariffs, when used carefully and as part of a larger strategy, can help bring nations like those run by the Chinese Communist Party to heel. But that is not what happened under Donald Trump. Instead, Donald Trump announced, quote, Liberation Day, pushing us to the brink of recession, sent markets flailing, sent consumers and small businesses into a panic, all so he could cave to China without having anything to show for the heartache and the economic detritus. This has all been another example of Donald Trump's chaos. Chaos. That's a watchword, unfortunately, for the way this administration acts. He has one policy for his tariffs one day, a different policy the next day. One day he's pretending to play a tough guy with China. The next, he's caving to China and getting little, if anything, in return. Who knows what Trump's tariff policy will be in the next 90 days? No business can count on what he might say or do. And any promise that he'll stick to his word, stick to his policies, well, the past is prologue. That never happens. Donald Trump's announcement with China is cold comfort for consumers and small businesses alike, for one reason: we don't know what he will do next. Now on reconciliation, and particularly on SNAP, the program that feeds hungry children. Today, the House Committees on Energy and Commerce, Ways and Means, and Agriculture will begin marking up the main portions of Republicans' so-called Big Beautiful Bill. Reports suggest that Republicans may even name their legislation One Beautiful Bill. That's ridiculous. I suggest Republicans pick a different name, a more honest name. They should call their bill the Big Grift, because that's what their bill is. Greedy Republicans in favor of tycoons. The Big Grift. Billionaires win, American families lose. There is nothing beautiful about the biggest cuts in Medicaid to American history. There is nothing, quote, beautiful about cutting SNAP, the largest anti-program in America, by over $300 billion. There is nothing beautiful about forcing kids to go hungry just to feed corporate greed. But that's what Republicans want to do. They want to axe SNAP benefits by $310 billion to pay for tax breaks for the ultra-rich. Cutting food from the mouth of hungry children for tax breaks for the ultra-rich, that is what they call beautiful? I call it warped. They want to shift the burden to the states, knowing full well many states won't be able to make up the gap in funding. That means in states across America and in Puerto Rico, kids, seniors, veterans, and families will go hungry. USDA cuts have already decimated food banks. I was just in Albany yesterday, where the local food bank had 27 tractor trailers, 1 million pounds of food, 1 million pounds of good, nutritious food for children and others, veterans, elderly who need the food, all canceled because of Donald Trump's cuts. Much of that food was produced by local family farms who lost a valuable market. And this is happening across the country, and now Republicans want to add to the devastation by cutting SNAP. That's even a further cut than they've already done, a deeper cut. Republicans call their SNAP cuts savings and reducing waste. But those are euphemisms. What it really means is increasing hunger, increasing poverty, increasing the wealth of the ultra-rich. It is morally indefensible. Indefensible. I yield the floor. News of the Qatari government gifting Donald Trump a $400 million private jet to use as Air Force One is so corrupt that even Putin would give a double take. This is not just naked corruption, it is also a grave national security threat. So in light of the deeply troubling news of a possible Qatari-funded Air Force One, and the reports that the Attorney General personally signed off on this clearly unethical deal, I am announcing a hold on all DOJ political nominees until we get more answers. Here are some questions that must be answered. First, I call on the DOJ's Foreign Agent Registration Act Unit, or the FARA unit, to do its job and disclose all activities by Qatari foreign agents inside the U.S. that could benefit President Trump or the Trump Organization. Since Attorney General Bondi took charge, the Department of Justice has not been doing its job when it comes to FARA. The FARA unit needs to enforce the law and inform the public of all activities, not just on this luxury plane deal, but all deals involving foreign countries in the Middle East and President Trump, his family, and the Trump Organization. Second, with regard to this $500 million private jet deal, the American people deserve to know the facts. President Trump has told the American people this is, quote, a free jet. Does that mean the Qataris are delivering a ready on day one plane with all the security measures already built in?